Hello again. I'm doing my best here to try to stay afloat uh, with regards to having reception. Maybe I should drive the car somewhere where there's better reception. I don't know. I'm not in the car right now, but I could do that. Um, I would appreciate it if people could let me know what the sound quality is. You can say hello, and the sound quality is such and such. Um, so All right. What I was saying before the camera clicked off was that we're living in a very intense time on this world. Thank you, Bruno. Appreciate it. We're living in a very intense time on the planet, and part of that intensity is the level of disorganization that certain countries on this world are exhibiting at this time, namely the United States. The United States and the election and all of these. Thank you, Brigitte and Eric. The United States and Azerbaijan and Armenia and any of the other new examples of anxiety in this world are feeding a level of vibration into the planetary grid that can cause people that aren't involved in these issues anxiety and fear and a lack of serenity and peace. And here's the thing, you have the Kundalini. And it's not an accident that you have the Kunalini at this time in this world, uh, with this level of upset. You knew what you were getting into when you took the body, and you've nourished the body, and you've grown the body from its conception to where you are with it right now. Okay, this is part of your decision to take the body and then to have the Kundalini present and awakened or activated within you at this time on this world. Okay, so understand that and understand the level of amplification that you might have. And with the Kundalini comes, pretty strong levels of telepathy. But it's not just mental telepathy, it's also emotional telepathy. Emotional telepathy means that you can read and feel the emotions that people are not telling you that they have. Some people, they're very outward with their emotions. Others are very inward. You can read all of them. Okay, you can read it on a societal level as well, and you can allow that to affect you or not. Okay, what I'm going to suggest that you do is you tap into the serenity that Kundalini brings. Now, look, even as you're going through some of these refinement processes, the Kriyas, you're accepting levels of infusion and things of that nature. There's always a component of serenity that can be accessed. Always a component of serenity that can be accessed. And I want to encourage you to access it. You're asking me right now, perhaps, uh, how do I access that serenity? What you do is you treat the Kundalini as if it's a person within you, not a person that's constantly chattering. If you if you want, if you have something that is chattering to you in your head, that's typically an entity. So you want to avoid that. Don't listen to anything it tells you. But you can talk to the Kundalini and you can ask it to give you a level of serenity and balance about world events. You can go vote for your presidential candidate. You can involve yourself in social awareness expressions like the racial awareness that is happening here in the United States, or with the war Armenia and Azerbaijan. You can like maybe be an example of peace between the two sides. It's little pieces of desert are not necessarily worth people dying over, or maybe splitting it in half. So you can be that position and point of serenity. You can relax and you can meditate and you can be calm and you can breathe. The media, especially in the United States, and I think England has a bit of that media thing going on. The media will try to blow things way out of proportion, and you'll see things played over and over and over. And I see your question, Bruno, and I'll address that. The media will play things over and over and over, and you really just want to stop watching it. Go ahead and get the news feed and listen to what they have to say, but don't watch it over and over and over. Don't let it program you away from your serenity. Just counterproductive. That just feeds you anxiety. It feeds the negative aspects of your body. Hi, Mr. Crow. Mr. Crow would like to say hello here, but I'm not going to lift him up. Don't allow anything to take away your serenities. Like, you guys want to see Mr. Crow? Is that what that was all about? Come here. You want to? Okay, all right. Here we go. Hi. I know. It's all good. You're on TV. There we go. That's Mr. Crow. Hi there. Yes, you're a good kid. All right, so I don't know how that works. It says bring them on camera. So I'm going to go to Bruno's question. What are the best ways to distinguish between entities and Kundalini communication? Entities will typically talk to you in the language that you've been raised in. Kundalini won't. Kundalini will give you a feeling, not a voice in your head. That's what schizophrenia, would be, as an entity pushing its awareness into your mind by use of words. So that's one of the main areas where you can discern between the two. And let's see, Felicia is writing, so interesting, we were speaking of Trump today. For the first time, I dreamt of our president today. He came over to my house and I was tucking him into this really grand bed. So strange. Yeah. Well, Cindy says, I vote for Mr. Crow now to be sitting on your shoulder. Mr. Crow does not like to be held. He's his own person, and, he goes his own way. I mean, he has the run of the house, right? But he chooses to sit right next to me on a newspaper. He likes newspapers. Maybe he's taking in the news. I don't know. But to be picked on him either. So if he wants to get on my shoulder, he's more than capable. He can get on my shoulder, so. And he's got a really sharp beak, so I don't want to force him on my shoulder and then lose my ear or my eye. So, not that he wouldn't do that. I put my face right up to him, and he doesn't bother me. He wonders what happened to my beak. So this level of anxiety in the world need not affect you on a Kundalini level. You need to take a step back and look at it and see that, yes, we're going through this great change. And this great change, there's going to be good parts to it. There'll be not so good parts to it. It'll, in certain areas, it'll be a phase that will pass. And, if there are hard points to it, then we're just going to have to learn to adjust to those hard points. We can vote And regardless of what is told to you over the media, your vote does count. And it doesn't just count on a ballot. It counts on a spiritual level. There's an egregore to every society, to every country. Egregore means where many consciousness gather together. An entity or a consciousness is formed from those many consciousness, and so you can vote with your mind and with your Kundalini, and that will make a difference. That is your vote, so to speak. And hello to you, Natalie Parrish Coles. And Robert says the reception is atrocious right now. Really? Jeez Louise. Well, I don't know what to say about that, Robert. I don't know how to improve the reception here in the kitchen. But thank you for letting me know that I'm probably talking to the air right now. So I'll just continue talking to the air. So don't allow the anxiety that the media will push at you. Don't allow the anxiety that your friends and your neighbors and your family may push at you. Oh, who you're going to vote for, why you're going to vote for them, why, that's the wrong way to vote, that's the right way to vote, whatever it is. Just maintain your serenity and don't allow other people to hijack it. Thank you, Brigitte. Thank you, Marie. I look fine? Really? Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. Okay, very good. I really appreciate you guys letting me know about the sound. Okay, so don't let world events dominate your Kundalini experience. Don't let that. And remember, this experience is going to last for the rest of your life. And this is something that a lot of people ask me about that I don't believe I've covered before, is when the Kundalini first comes to a person, it's going to give you really strong phenomena. Very strong phenomena. And that will be, of course, depending upon your karma, depending upon your practice, depending on, lots of different things. Do you have a family to support? Are you working, 80 hours a week or whatever it is? So, a lot of it is going to depend on your current situation. But you'll have phenomena. You will have, there's not a lot of people that are going to have Kundalini without phenomena. So if you're thinking that you have Kundalini but you've had no phenomena, probably don't have Kundalini. Okay? And the phenomena, I'll get to that, Indra. The phenomena will be various. It'll be emotional phenomena. It will be spiritual phenomena. It'll be phenomena nobody else can see. It'll be phenomena that people can see, like Kriyas. The Kriyas come in many different forms. And so, you'll have phenomena. It's just, if you're looking for angels, or you're looking, to have some aspect of your religion fulfilled, that's typically not going to happen. It does happen for some. But typically, angels aren't floating down into your kitchen and having, breakfast with you. Krishna is not serenading you and your family with his flute in person all the time. And so it's something for you to really be aware of, that, these expectations that we have as an egotistic person will not typically be fulfilled. But other aspects that are not associated with the ego will be, such as Kriyas. And Kriyas, for those of you that don't know, are automatic, spontaneous movements and movements of emotion, movements of the physical body that the person has not planned on and is being done to them, rather than them initiating the movement or the feeling. Okay, That's what I'm talking about when I say a Kriya. Now I'm going to go back to Indra's message. What are the last stages of the divine marriage? There is no such thing as a last stage of the divine marriage. There are no such things as endings to it. There is a start, but there is not an end. And I know, everybody says, well, what goes up must come down. What is started must be ended, and it's just not the way it is for Kundalini. There is no end to it. You go through certain stages. You'll go through the Kriya stage, and that can last anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months to 6 years to 60 years. Like I said, it's different for everybody because we come into this with different karma. But there is no end to the divine marriage. There is no last stage. Okay, there is no last stage. If you have Kundalini in this lifetime, then you're looking at a continuous transformation towards the highest energetic fusion that a human body can hold. And you're looking to be able to live with that in the flesh. So once the divine marriage is occurring, then it's living with the divine marriage. There are no last stages. Okay? No last stages of that. And let's see if we have any other questions here. Okay, so living with the Kundalini is much harder than trying to get the Kundalini activated. And any of the ancient masters will tell you that, my Kundalini did not have to tell me that. It brought me to that information on its own. And Michael Rakas is asking how to keep up with collecting other people's emotions. How to keep up with it? Which mindset to have to allow to be calm, to ground, to what? Well, certainly those three things, to allow, to be calm, and to ground, is perfect for that. But also, don't try to keep up with their emotions. Just a second. Don't try to keep up with their emotions. Their emotions don't necessarily have to be your emotions. This is kind of what I was saying earlier on about the anxiety of the world. You don't have to tap into it. If a person standing next to you wants to be sad, let him be sad. They have every right to be sad, or fearful, or anxious, or joyful, or happy, or in love, or grieving, whatever it may be. You don't have to adopt the emotions of the people around you. Better yet is to achieve that level of serenity within you and let that shine out as a light of grace from you. And they will receive that in whatever way they can at that time. Sometimes people need to be in grief. They've lost a loved one. They need to grieve that loss. Will that come automatically, Michael is asking. Will that come automatically or when Kundalini becomes stronger? Yes, to some degree. If you're not doing it consciously now, which I suggest you do, you consciously become that light of grace, that light of serenity that is reaching into the populations. That helps you and that helps them. It's a win-win for everybody. And that will make Kundalini stronger. Definitely. Indra is asking, well, how do we live with it? Well, you wake up in the morning and you thank the Kundalini for this new day of life. I mean, do I have to go through it step by step, Indra? Go to the bathroom. If you have access to a shower, take a shower. Maybe have some water. Get dressed if you want, if it's appropriate for you. Do everything that you're doing to live with it. Just accept it more. Let it control your life more. You're welcome, Michael. Mihail, whatever, Mr. Raka. Live with it the way you're living with it, but just give it more surrender, give it more control. Stop allowing your ego to try to jump in and figure it out. It's like, oh, how do I live with it? And oh my gosh, what are the end stages of the divine marriage? It's like, whoever said there's no divorce either, by the way. There's no divorce. Shakti and Shiva aren't going to go, well, we're just not seeing eye to eye on these things. We're going to divorce now. That's not happening. So, for you, Indra, you need to really work on disengaging your ego. You have a lot of egotism that is being amplified by your grace, and you need to get a hold on that egotism. And do not let the egotistic assumptions of what you think should be or what society thinks should be to control how you live with your Kundalini. Moving on. Amar Hamurgi says, after the last Shaktipat, I experienced a plateau, a decline in experiencing flow of energy in the spine. Yes, well, plateaus are actually quite... this is... What Amar is talking about is continuing the Kundalini phenomena so that his egotism recognizes that, yes, the Kundalini is still with me. Yes, it is still going strong. Yes, I can feel it. And when you hit a plateau, you are there to process everything that has occurred to you prior to that plateau. You know, you allow the body and the 5 bodies of human expression to form that cocoon and to let that cocoon insulate you in a way that allows you to process what is occurring and to really begin to step in front of the idea that if you have phenomena, therefore it's happening. And to step in front of the idea and block the idea that if you're not having phenomena, then it's not there. And so how to sustain the experience beyond the Shaktipat? Keep doing the safeties and pull back your expectations that the more phenomena you have, therefore the Kundalini is there, and that if you're not having phenomena, the Kundalini is not there. That is not correct. That is not correct. The Shaktipat could have placed you into that plateau purposefully. Okay? All right. And you're welcome, Indra. And so I just wanted to touch base with everybody here, and I appreciate everybody coming in to listen. If you have a question, please write it out here. I am reading them. I don't think I've missed anybody. I hope I haven't, anyway. And if I have, just write it again. Copy and paste it somewhere in the comment section again. You know, a lot of people have the same experience that Amar is having. Is like, you know, phenomena means it's there. No phenomena means it's not there. This is not correct. This is an incorrect assumption that is made by the ego. The ego likes to associate 1 plus 2 equals 3. Okay, 1 plus 1 equals 2. And therefore, if you have the phenomena, then you have the Kundalini. If you don't have the phenomena, then it's gone. And if you know, a lot of you are going to miss the phenomena that you currently complain about. Seriously. Your body will adjust to it, and it will, as the body adjusts or acclimates to this phenomena, through the action of acclimation, the phenomena slowly begins to recede because it's being acclimated to. Okay, so it's like when you're a baby and your taste buds are so sensitive that if you ate something that was hot, wow, it really, really hurts. But if you're born into a family that eats a lot of hot, spicy food, well, eventually that spicy food is just fine. It doesn't burn you anymore because your body's acclimated to it. Well, it's the same with the Kundalini phenomena. Okay, and if you've had a lot of phenomena and then you feel the phenomena backing off, it doesn't mean you're losing the Kundalini. It just means you're acclimating to it, the phenomena, and you're being prepared to move forward. And it's a pleasure to see you as well, Julie B. And thank you, Maureen. And Felicia asks, how do we stay out of fear during sleep paralysis? You just breathe through your nose. Breathe through your nose, and that will typically do it. Now, if you're in the sleep paralysis and you feel the vibrations from head to toe, and you feel them and they begin to increase, well, you're about to separate from the body, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's natural. And then, and that's typically when you feel the sleep paralysis is right before you leave, rather than when you come back in. And you will always come back in. Don't believe any of the horror stories saying, oh, you'll get trapped outside of your body. None of that's true. That's just somebody fear-mongering you. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about out-of-body experience and sleep paralysis. And so you don't need to worry about it. Sleep paralysis is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Sometimes you'll hear a thunderclap or a loud explosion as you leave the physical realm and you go into the spiritual realm, which is normal. Like a big noise. When I was doing it consciously years ago, I would skip the noise because I knew that the noise would kind of like bring me out of it. And so I would skip the separation sequence, meaning I would consciously leave the body right before the spiritual component of the body would leave it. And then I would rejoin it as soon as it left the body, because I could turn over and I could see myself sleeping on the bed. And I could see that, oh, okay, yeah, here we go. And then I'd go on my journey, my out-of-body journey. And so you don't need to worry about sleep paralysis. It's perfectly normal. Don't need to be afraid of anything in that. And yes, you might hear entities if you're a married person and you have a spouse that you're sleeping next to that is infested with entities, which is not uncommon. It's very common. Like if they've had alcohol or some marijuana, something like that, you might hear them. You might hear them during the sleep paralysis stage. Don't be afraid of that either. Just say to yourself as you're breathing through your nose, I give my Kundalini. And that should reassure you, because then you'll still hear, but you got to know you're protected. You have nothing to worry about. And Julie B is that. I have a question. Can entities give you the feeling of being on a ship to make you seasick? If you buy into what the entities are showing you, or if you're participating with them, then yes, they can make you feel that way, or at least they can give you the opportunity to make yourself feel that way. Mr. Crow, back here on the paper. Come on. Back here. No, don't go in. Okay, fine. See what I mean? Mind of his own. He's getting ready. There he goes. He just flew into the living room. Okay. So you don't have to feel that way, though. All you have to do is engage your inner stability. So, while you're this is Julie B. I don't feel that you're talking about the dream state here. So this is in your waking state. The entities do not have that kind of physical control in your waking state. I need to know more about what is happening too. If you're feeling dizzy, then you may have syncope. You may have the syncope that's coming up, and maybe you stood up too quickly or something like that. That can also make you feel dizzy and can give you some feelings of nausea. Uh, so, waking state, yeah, Julie. I assume there may be some dizziness with that. Let me know. And you just need to rehydrate yourself, drink a lot more water. And while you're inside of the transformation, don't immediately jump to your feet from a sitting position, if that is what's happening with you. Kundalini can give us, if we're resisting the transformation or if it's just new to us, it can make us feel nauseous at times. It can actually have that effect on the digestive tract, and you can kind of like, I'm not feeling so great. And that can also, while lying down. So that came all of a sudden while you're lying down. So yeah, just relax with it. Make sure that it's not happening over and over and over again. And don't be in fear. Nothing is wrong. It's just a matter of acclimation, as I mentioned before. And if you're not eating the food that she wants you to eat, like if you're doing a lot of caffeine, if you're participating in alcohol or marijuana or MDMA or any of those other drugs, you can look forward to having some more problems of that nature. Not for everyone, but definitely for most. Okay. So keep that in mind. And I got nothing against the recreational drugs, except that they do attract entities, and they can have sometimes a debilitating effect on people and their Kundalini processes. So just be aware of that. And the phenomena you're going to have to get used to no matter what occurs. And as I mentioned before, as soon as you acclimate to the phenomena, and you're welcome, Julie B. As soon as you acclimate to the phenomena, you're going to miss it. Oh, what did I do to make Shakti angry at me? Where is she? Oh my God, I've fully acclimated to this now, and now I can't feel it. And it's like, oh, it's gone. What happened to my Kriyas? So, you have to understand, it's like as a child, we learn to stop sucking on our thumb, right? We learn to stop sucking on the thumb. Eventually, we gravitate away from that. And most of us won't miss it. Some of us will, but most of us won't miss sucking on our thumb anymore. Okay, and so I want to invite you that have reached a plateau, or the phenomena is starting to recede because of acclimation, that you just get yourself ready for the next level of the transformation. Okay, the next level of learning what it is to have Kundalini, to living with the Kundalini. And living with the Kundalini, after you've gone through a lot of the phenomena and things of that nature, well, now you start getting into civic skills, or you start getting into, if you're accepting of it, let's put it this way. If you're not accepting of it, often the Kundalini will just recede and it will stay in the background for the rest of your life, because that's where you need it to be, because you're in so much fear of it. But if you can accept it, well, you can continuously expand with it. And this is the true gift of grace, is the continued expansion of the physical 5 bodies of expression through the Kundalini. This is where you become semi-divine. This is where you come into levels of ascension. And you've got to pass through these gates, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to pass through these gates. You don't get to just assume that you want this and assume that you're going to get that without being tested. You will be tested. And Angie Vera is asking, how do we work on body blockages after Kundalini? Please breathe into them and don't resist having to deal with it. So if you have a blockage with forgiveness, then you've got to work the forgiveness, and you've got to breathe into it. Oh, that Master Chrism, he's such an asshole. He's such God. He's so bad. He's got such a bad reputation. Oh, he's horrible, horrible, horrible. And he didn't answer my question right, and I just hate him. I hate him. Well, you have to look at Master Chrism and go, oh God. Well, he's losing his hair and wears glasses. He's got a beard. Poor guy. He's had a hard life. I think I can find it in my mind to forgive him. And then, while I'm at it, I should be able to forgive myself for having such a negative response to Master Chrism. Not everybody likes Master Chrism. So as you work on the blockage, this is an important question, and I'm not making light of it. I'm just trying to make light of the example. As you work on the blockage, as you work on eating meat, if you're a vegetarian, there's a big blockage there. A lot of the Indian people, it's not part of my culture. I can't eat meat. It's just not part of my culture. And the Kundalini's sitting there telling you you're going to have to eat the meat. Okay. And, there's that blockage, and you've got to surrender to the Kundalini. Typically, a blockage is formed as an expression of resistance to what the Kundalini wants you to do. That's the typical blockage. Okay. And the ego has plenty of opportunities for blockage. Doesn't want to forgive. It doesn't want to commit service for other people without being paid for it. It doesn't want to eat the foods that it doesn't like to eat. It doesn't want to do this. It doesn't want to do that. It likes to do this. It likes to do that. And it doesn't want to stop if the Kundalini is compelling it to stop. So you've got to look at your ego, and you've got to look to see how you're choosing to self-pleasure by following the ego. And you've got to learn to feel what the Kundalini wants you to do and not allow the ego to talk you out of it. And breathe into that issue. Breathe into that problem. And that extra energy from that breath, that intentional breath, will bring some clarity to you and that issue. And so now I've got to, I'm going to come back here. And thank you for that, Angie Vera. Amar asked, does stopping the Tibetans cause declining Kundalini? Well, I tell you what. Oh, Amar. You just want that phenomena. Well, you can try it. It's not going to hurt you. Continue the Tibetans. Practice those safeties. Tibetans are part of the safeties. So if you practice the safeties, maybe you'll get more phenomena. Maybe you just need to process what you already have, but maybe you'll get more. So definitely practice them. They're a good thing to practice. Bruno is asking, 2 times during chakra breathing, I had my focus kind of forced out of the chakra. I was just starting to breathe and went to the next one and seemed to be held there strongly. Can Kundalini intercede in practices in such a way? Should I just go with it and leave that chakra behind, or is it something else and I should just up my concentration even more? Well, if it kind of jerked your focus away from it, Bruno, go with where that was taken to, okay? You may have way too much energy in a certain chakra, and it doesn't want you to keep doing that. So it may, take you to another. With the chakra breathing, it should not be done every day. You can do it every day for 7 days, but you don't do it every day for the rest of your life. You don't want to insert that much egotism into the chakra breathing, and you shouldn't be inserting egotism into the chakra breathing at all. Like going into it with an expectation, okay, I'm going to be enlightened now because I'm doing the chakra breathing. Like, no. What you're doing is you're refining the body to be able to receive more Kundalini. That's why it happens during the Shaktipat. Okay? So yeah, you just go with it and leave that other chakra behind. That's my advice to you about that. And you're very welcome, Angie. And who else? Let's see. Yeah, okay. Craig says, I have never done the Tibetans, ever. should I start doing them? Well, you may want to just look at what makes you ask that question. What part of you is asking that question? If it's the Kundalini part of you asking that question, then you want to do it. Yeah, you want to do it. And you don't just do them once. They become a fixture of your everyday practice. It's not a one-off, okay? And I'm going to suggest that you start at low repetitions so that you don't overwhelm yourself. They are generative practices. It's not like horizontal yoga where, eventually you'll start to feel something. With the Tibetans, it's pretty vertical. You go from 0 to there really fast. So, yes, you can do the Tibetans, and perhaps that's something you should do. But figure out why do you want to do them? I mean, what is happening there for you? Why should you do them? Let's see. Eric is asking, I am wondering if animals appearing after a deep meditation have a specific meaning. I had a crazy multidimensional download that woke me up, and they appeared shortly after that. I felt I was some kind of warning. Big black bear and a younger black jaguar. Oh, yeah, but they're not. It's not a warning. Those are Kundalini creatures. That's Kundalini demonstrating to you her and his presence to you. Okay? You could almost see the big black bear as sacred masculine and the young jaguar as sacred feminine. It's a good thing, and you don't need to be afraid of that. That is a very positive event. Okay, and so continuing on, Slavko Strangar says, what about signs? See, repeating numbers, patterns, people, is it Kundalini? It can be. It can be Kundalini starting to help you to receive information that is outside of the normal means of accessing information. So you can see the 111, right? Or the 333 or the 444 or any number. I would see 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 or things like that. And it doesn't give you a specific meaning. It's for you to recognize. It's pattern recognition is what it is. And it's teaching you to recognize patterns that are outside of your mundane development. And you're welcome, Craig. And Marie Timberly says protection, and I'm not. What happened? Is my video gone? Am I finished here? Can people... Well... Huh. Oh. Sorry about that. I don't know how does that work. Just a second. My camera got turned around here. Oh, here we go. So, all right. So yeah, there you have it. Now let's see. Mehdi Nasri is saying, I'm going through a phase where I don't know if I should take medicine or not. How does one discern? Well, since I am not a government sponsored representative of the medical industry, I'm not allowed to comment on that. So you should ask your Kundalini. And you take the advice from your Kundalini over anybody, including me. Okay? And you're welcome, Slavko. And there it goes. Okay, all right. So if there are no more questions, I would just like to leave you with a fond hello. It's not the easiest thing to do, to talk extemporaneously all the time. I can do it. But it takes a bit of practice to just flow this way. But if you have a question, and I am still on, please do write it out. Don't be hesitant. Don't be fearful. I'm not gonna bite your head off, unless you're doing something really bad. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Have a beautiful, blessed evening, blessed day, wherever you are. See you next time.